you'll just take your time and center yourselves. Take that deep breath, knowing that breath we take in is our God, our spirit, our universe. And as relax into the day. We are here, we gather in our spiritual home to gain our sustenance, our spiritual sustenance. We do that by sharing with each other, by being here, by realizing that each one of us are God's, a part of God. God's a part of us. We are part of that whole. And in that wholeness, we have all the qualities of God, all the peace, all the love, all the harmony, the bliss, the happiness we felt when we sang that song. Knowing that God is in the house with us, as us, in us. I want to bless all of us for being here and being on Zoom, sharing our love, and for our technician who gets this service running with smooth and grace and ease. And for those words of wisdom that set the stage, the songs, the words of those songs, the artists that share with us their blessing and God's blessing. And as we prepare to hear Reverend Sunshine, she's the vessel that's going to be speaking to us, and God's going to be speaking through her. Right now, just settle in there knowing that God is in the house. All that peace, all that joy is with us now. And so it is. So it is.
At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Who we are, the Center for Spiritual Living in Beaumont. And now it's my privilege, and I'm so proud that we've got Reverend Sunshine Daye with us today. And just a little tidbit. God always plays a little, I don't know, joke or whatever is on. Guess what her family name was? Silva.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Beaumont.
Good morning.
Better than that, I want to say good morning, beloveds, because I recognize who you are. Each of you, you are the unique, unrepeatable, magnificent, powerful way that life, with a capital L, meaning that God shows up in human form. This is who I see before me. I see the way God is showing up as you. I understand that at this center, during the month of March, the theme has been around joy, around play, around rest. And today, the talk title, I tried to change it to just happy, but the talk title is So Happy together. And isn't it interesting and just divine timing, of course, that the pandemic that has been happening in our lives the last 2 years has afforded us the opportunity to come together and actually be together on the day that the talk title is So Happy Together. I tend to believe that there are no coincidences. I tend to believe that everything is, in fact, in divine order. And if I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes I don't like that divine order. Sometimes I don't want to hear it's in divine order. When we suffer the loss of a loved one, we don't want to hear it's in divine order. And yet, it is. We have an opportunity to recognize the deep pain, the sadness that is felt when someone we love so dearly leaves us in the physical realm. And what I want to remind us is that the level of pain and sadness that is felt simply is a reflection of the joy and the level of love and the capacity that we're able to love. And when I remember that it is both and, that it's not the sadness or the joy, but in fact that even in our sadness, even in our sorrow, even in our grief, there is our natural state of joy, then I begin to truly embrace living in the present moment. I'm so happy we're together today. Not only to hear an inspirational message, but to also support one another during this time, during these changing times. Now, I know that you've had some dynamic speakers, and I'm also recognizing that you're candidating for a new minister, and I'm excited with you. I'm excited for the possibilities that are coming. And I'm excited that in the month of March, in this month of spring, in this month where we celebrate the feminine as well, that we have this chance to really look at how we can be happy together. And the things that we get to engage in our lives that make it so that we're happy together. Like I said earlier, not happiness, but joy is our natural state. Joy is that quality of God that expresses in, through, and as us. And even without having a smile on my face, I am joy. And to the degree in which I recognize that, I make happiness a choice. I'm not denying the times where I'm sad. I'm not denying the times where I grieve or the times where I'm in sorrow, yet my natural state is joy. So I want to read a quote. Let me pull up my handy dandy computer here. This quote is from A New Design for Living by Ernest Holmes. And he says, "The present moment can never provide you with more joy than you are able to embody." the present moment cannot and can never provide you with more joy than you are able to embody. The question is do you want to embody the joy, or do you want to stay in a feeling tone that is outside of joy? I know I was listening to a speaker, and well, actually, our words of wisdom this morning, where we choose to stay sad, where we choose to be in a condition of the world is going in a downward spiral in a handbasket. You know the term. Where we choose to stay in the doom and the gloom. I remember saying this last time that I was here, is that many of us are stuck believing the things that come out of our television, aka the news. The news is not new. It's not news, it's old. The news is not what's really happening everywhere, but because we focus upon it, we think that there's crime and hatred and wars everywhere. True enough, it is occurring. But when we only allow that kind of information in, it can't help but dampen the spirit. When we only allow ourselves to receive information and news about who's sick and what happened to so-and-so, and when we're always the carrier of news that is not intended to lift us up, then we can believe that that's happening everywhere, and yet it is not. And so what I'm reminding us is to turn off the television and let's be happy together and sit around and television. We tell a vision of maybe our childhood memories. We tell a vision of a future for our grandchildren. We tell a vision of our own future. You see, we can be happy together, and we are happy together when we indeed are about affirming life and not destroying life, when we are about lifting one another up. And I'm not saying that there's not time for sadness. And yet, how long does that pain really last? It lasts as long as I think about it. I don't know about you. I come from a Puerto Rican family from the Bronx. And my dad died when I was 4. And I remember watching my mom be so sad because she missed him so terribly. And I remember adopting her sadness and sorrow because Mom was God to me. Dad was God to me, right? They're our first idea of a higher power. You know, they feed me, they house me, they give me toys. And so to see and to sense that sadness, why I adopted that because I thought that was life. I could remember my record player. Okay, I'm 58 years old. So I'm going to talk about a record player and a 45 and the disc that you put in the middle, you know, to make it play. And I can remember playing the song Ben, that sad song about Michael Jackson and the rat, you know, or what was that, Moon River, you know? And I would play that song over and over and over and over again and just cause myself to cry or to continue to feel melancholy. Because that's what I saw modeled for me. I'm so happy that today we have opportunities to actually have a different perspective. That today we have a perspective that we can indeed be in some sadness, and yet all of a sudden someone tells a funny story and we all start to crack up. We all start to laugh, and we're surrounded with food and love, and we can actually feel the love around us. I'm reminded too of a time when I was young, and I don't remember what was going on, but we were very sad. Oh, there it was. It was a time when I was in high school, and we had just lost our funding for sports. What? What? Our funding for sports? What's happening? And I remember the joy all of a sudden that came from a spontaneous youth protest. We were like, we're not standing for this, and we were just filled with so much joy that we were able to use our voice, and we were able to walk out, and we were able to create change from something so sad. Like, what? There's not enough money for our sports? And how in an instant, as young people, we chose the joy of being able to utilize our intelligence, our bodies, our voices to affect and impact change. And don't you know that principal found some funds because he saw that we didn't turn that sadness into anger and bitterness and destroy the school, but in fact that we turn that sadness into joy and utilize the power of our joy to affect change. Now, you know, when I talk about so happy together, a lot of people think about, oh, well, let's get together and play some games. Games are so competitive. Monopoly. I'm going to make you bankrupt so that I can be on top and have the hotels, and you have to pay me rent, and then you can't pay me rent, and then you can't live here. No. Wah, wah, wah. What about those activities that we can actually participate in that lift us all up? I wonder if you can begin to imagine of any games like that in your own life. Maybe getting together to do a puzzle. Maybe gathering to be creative on a creative project and allow that natural sense of joy to come forth as we work together. See, I could be happy all by myself. And many times I am happy all by myself. But the happy together is about collaboration. It's about family. It's about unity, which is our spiritual principle. Ernest Holmes talks about the unity of all life, that we are indeed not separate from one another. I love that the minute one person jumped up, the other person jumped up, and don't worry about looking silly. Just be you. Just be you. And allow yourself to be influenced and impacted by the joy that others are expressing. I want to share a game that I like playing that is about all of us winning instead of somebody wins, somebody loses. And that's a game that I like to call intuition. So we're going to try it right now. You want to try it? Yeah. All right, cool. So you can close your eyes if you want to. You don't have to. Just don't look at anybody right now. And intuitively, and this requires audience participation. And if you're on Zoom, you can do this on Zoom as well in the chat, but in your chat feature, if it's enabled. So I'm going to start, actually, yes, I'm going to start and I'm going to say 1. And intuitively, someone else will shout out 2 and 3 and 4. We're going to try to get to 10. However, if 2 people say the same number at the same time, we start again. On Zoom, if you're on Zoom or if you're on social media, the way it looks is you type 1 and then someone else will type 2. But if 2 people type 2, like right away, boom, you get to start again. You game? Yeah. Here we go. 1. 2. Up. There we go. We had 2 2s. Okay. 1. 2. 3. Ah. There we got to 3. Wow, what great progress. 1. 2. 3. 4. Ah, we got to 4 this time. Okay. Let's try that again. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Oh! Woo, we got to 8. Oh, okay, we got to 8. Do you want to keep trying or do you want to take the win at 8? Keep going. You see how happy we are together? This is called collaboration, right? We're making these choices together. Okay. Let's breathe, relax. Intuition here, intuition. Intuitively speak when you're given to speak, and intuitively be silent when you're given to be silent. They're both important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoa! Woo! We had 2 10s, but I'm going to take that as a win, right? Woo, because somebody said 10 before the other person said 10, so we got to 10, right? All right, give yourselves some love for that. The other one that I love doing is he or tee-hee. We'll start on this side. You say he once, and then you add a he. So he, you go he. Now the object is not to laugh. It's too late. We're already laughing. You get the idea and you get the drift. So many times when we come together to be together, it's just the simplest things. Joy is really at the center of who we are. And having that balance in our lives is important. I want to share this with you. You are never more fully alive, more completely yourself, or more deeply engrossed in anything than when you are playing. I bring a lot of messages to young people, and those messages are messages of unity, of collaboration, of joy, of really pulling together. Those messages, I do my utmost to help people learn those messages while we are playing. While we are playing. Because how we play is how we do life. I remember playing a game where automatically I went into competition mode. And the game was never about competition. The game was always about collaboration. This is what I love about this community. Take a look around you, and this is what I mean when I say, I'm good, right? This is what I mean when I say I can be happy together. I can be happy by myself, right? So that's a heart, right? I'm going to invite you to take half of it down and connect it with someone else. And if you're not sitting next to someone, go ahead and either do a triangle, do 3 hearts. Yeah, happy together. We're happy together. That's what it's about. Because I can be happy by myself. It is my natural state of being, but when my heart connects with your heart, it's about that connection. It's about our unity. It's about our oneness. My last point is people always like to say, oh, come on, sunshine. Let's be realistic. Recognize what that word is. Realistic. When you look at a mannequin and you say, wow, that mannequin looks realistic, that means it's fake. That means it's fake, it's a phony, it's a fraud. I don't want to be realistic. I want to be real. Real. I want us all to be real. And though the message this month has been around play and joy and rest, in being real, sometimes we are in that sadness. And sometimes it feels so far away to get to the joy. And I'm not saying to leave that sadness. Instead, to recognize that that sadness is actually in direct correlation to the love that you have the capacity for. And when I think about how much I have hurt in life, how much disappointment I've had, how all of it, it's because I have this deep, deep, abiding love. And when I think about love, I can't help but be in joy. And so that is one of the ways to actually move powerfully from the realm of sadness and despair after we've been there for a little bit and we recognize that it's real. It's real because I am a lover. I'm a lover of humanity, a lover of life. I have the deep capacity to love. Oh, and because I love, what joy it is to love. That joy in loving. And so if you find yourself in that solo spot, make that connection with someone else. Make that connection with that power within you and connect with another human being so that we together are happy. Let's move into a moment of prayer. How grateful I am in this moment. I'm going to invite our practitioners to come forth. Grateful. Grateful for the words of Winnie the Pooh. You can laugh. We can laugh in prayer. I'm grateful for the words of Winnie the Pooh when Winnie the Pooh says, we didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun. And how grateful I am to know that there's one power, one presence, one life, that it is infinite intelligence, that it is love, that it is joy, that it is peace, that it is power, that it is harmony and unity, that it is wholeness, infinite intelligence, beauty, divine creativity. I can never run out of words to describe this infinite power and presence that has created everything out of itself. Therefore, it has created my life out of itself. I know that I am one with this power and presence. I cannot be separate from the life of infinite spirit, of God, of higher power. It is living in, through, and as me right now. My life is eternal, and all life is eternal. And as I know that this is the truth for me, and I know it for all, I simply speak a word of blessing for and about this spiritual community, simply calling forth the abundance, the joy, the peace, the comfort that passes all human understanding. I simply call forth the unity and the collaboration one with the other. How grateful I am that even in coming together, sometimes in our deepest sadness, that we are indeed happy together. Grateful that this power and presence that I simply call God, that I call love, that I call peace, is present always. Grateful for the abundance of this community, grateful for the peace in this community, grateful for the love, the deep and abiding love that this community continues to show off over and over and over again. I simply give thanks. I give thanks for the sadness. I give thanks for the joy. I give thanks for the love. I give thanks for the power that is always present. And that when it is necessary, that comforter, that peace that passes all human understanding is present as joy in, through, and as our life. So because I pray believing it's done, I let go. I release. I let it be so. And so it is. And now it is. Amen. I understand.
Thank you for joining us for our Sunday service. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video on Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media you are a member of. To donate to CSL Beaumont, you can text GIVE to 951-420-6909, or you can visit our website at cslbeaumont.org and click the donate button at the top or bottom of the page. You can also mail your donation to CSL Beaumont, 802 Maple Avenue, Beaumont, California, 92223. Have a blessed day, and namaste.
This group is so intuitive because I have never had a group get to 10 that quickly. Yeah. Really, really, really. Is my mic off now? Or can you still hear me on the speaker? All right, good deal.